assigned duties actually. In fact, all of us had our little assigned things. Like Kieran was did travel and accommodation, and I got the job of looking after antennas, what we were going to set up, and in fact making sure that we had the right amount of coax connectors, made sure that we knew how much wire to take and stuff, make sure we had enough rope for guys, very important that. You can never have enough rope. Oops! Yes, that's quite good that actually. I mean that picture actually says a lot, doesn't it? We're trying to make our minds up as to where north was at that time. Dave was obviously having some trouble because he was pointing at Kirkwall, which was of southeast.
They all got a compass, Jimmy.
I was obviously looking for the North Star. Yeah. Anyhow, yeah, that's us, yes. Right, okay. You remember I said that we had this long building which was the milking parlour, in fact this massive milking byre or shed actually. And on the west end, this is actually working on the west end. What we had actually were we borrowed some aerials from a guy called John Grieve actually, in fact, who was a friend of mine, who went to school with me, and in fact he had enough masts there for 240 feet masts, and we put 80-metre dipoles on these, and this was in fact erecting one of these actually on the west. This was on the west side of the thing, so we had plenty of we had good masts. We had 2 hustlers covering 10, 15 and 20 metres and 40 metres, CW and SSB, and we had 2 80-metre aerials actually as well. We didn't use the 80-metre facilities on the hustlers because they're too narrow band actually. The SWR is not controllable, so we don't want to. Yes, right, okay. Talk about being down at the water's edge. I had to go out in bare feet, you know, to get that ropes back because it was well above the tops of the wellies, so I said there's no point. I had to head out anyway. That's us digging around in the water. We were right down at the water's edge. You can't really. This was the erection of one of the steel pipes that we got. This is one of John's masts actually.
The spider beam. That's the 80-metre spider beam.
Was that the 80-metre spider? Yeah. I think it is actually. Right. Yes. That's the spider beam. Yeah.
You got your hustler in the back.
Yeah, that's it there. Yes, that's right. There's the hustler, and in fact that's one of the steel poles as well. Yeah, that's one of the hustlers. That is the east hustler. That's the east hustler. The west hustler. The west hustler. And you'll notice, as I said, it's right down at the edge of the water, and basically we had some of the radials running out into that. That was at low tide.
It was, yes, they came right up into low tide. Quite shallow, but right up to the edge.
Yeah, that's it. And you can see the weather, actually. We had absolutely fantastic weather. It looks a little foggy, but not if it's a little fog between friends. You will see there's a good selection of aerials there.
Still in the west.
That's right, yeah.
Right
now this here is putting up one of the hustlers in the usual fashion, actually. Little stories about the hustlers. I spent a lot of time tuning the buggers up actually in the back garden before we went up, and the tuning was okay, but in actual fact some of it came to nothing because one of the traps slipped on one of them, and in actual fact I don't know to this day how we managed to get it to come right actually, because I just said moved 1/4 inch and the SWR was okay. You know, it was I just don't know how we got it, but they're pretty good aerials as long as they're you take the time over the tuning of them. We did have one of the difficulties was that basically I had tuned them, and in fact I couldn't remember which way we put them because I had one set on CW and one on SSB, and basically we crossed them over. So we had to retune everything. So that was interesting, but it was. I mean, basically, I think in fact that type of aerial down by the seashore like that works very well. Actually, where you've got a nice takeoff, you know, a bay or something like that, where you're down at the water's edge, it works very well actually. Yeah, that's us there. See the ballons and stuff on there, plenty of guy ropes and stuff. There's Dave. Right, yes, okay. That's Neil actually standing back on to see Dave, and I'm not sure who that is standing behind Neil. But that's the edge of the house, and that's the hustler on the east side.
So did you put a ground plane underneath that?
The Hustler got 2 radials on each band, so that's 2 on 10, 2 on 15, 2 on 20, and 2 on 40. We don't bother with radials on 80 because we don't use the 80 meter facility. So we had like eight radials going out. You can operate these aerials actually. Just set the bottoms on practically on the ground on a spike and put out maybe just a few wires actually. But they say that they don't work as well actually like that. You don't know who to believe with it actually. You need to do something.
How did you install the radials? Did you just run them across the grass?
No, they're actually hanging down. The best angle actually for takeoff to get the radials out is at about like about 45. Yeah, that's right. The radials go out from about just about there. You can't quite see them. That's actually a gyro you're looking at, but they're very close actually to where the bottom of the aerial is actually just about there, and the radials go out like that, and they should hang down about 45 degrees.
2 for each band.
2 for each band. I'm trying to get them on opposite sides. So we were pretty lucky up there because we were able to space them out quite well, and you have to fine tune the aerial. You actually change the length of the ends of the radials. You try not, if possible, to take the thing. You have to take it down and all of the length of the pipes. And the last thing you want to do is have to change the traps because you get it.
So tell me again, you tune the radials.
The radials, yes.
To get the SWR on.
Correct. That's right. Yes. You can change the frequency quite a bit by altering the length of the actual.
Yeah, the antenna itself, the traps, as Tom mentioned, are you set them up as per the manufacturer, and you set them up, and that gives you the course setting and the radials that you're fine tuning.
Yeah.
In as you mentioned earlier, in the limit, if you've somehow misread the manual, you have to drop it down and remeasure, set your traps up. But they claim it will work without radials, but radials are much better.
Yes, they do work much better with radials. Anyway, there is that now was looking in fact towards the east, and this aerial, that's the Hustler there. That is the aerial carrying the 80 metres there, and this I think is actually Carston's one. That was we put up another aerial which was a general receiving aerial just at the edge of the water, beside where the actual I'm standing roughly here, in fact, where the operating shack was.
Yeah.
And so we were looking at
just at the back you can see Neil's windmill.
Yes, you can actually. In fact,
you see it? In the middle?
Just right there.
Across a bit? No, across a bit.
Across a bit.
There.
There. Yeah, that's it. That's the windmill. That's right, yes. That was running actually when we went up in the summer. It was broken when we went, I remember, in the spring. Yeah. Okay. You were looking very comfortable there. Actually.
We got tires off before you.
Yeah, that's right. It was obviously it was obviously hot and exhausting actually, that's right. So everybody was lying very relaxed. This here is the switch box, which in fact controls the signal going to either the 80 metre dipole or to the Hustler actually.
What's the box on the bottom of the Hustler there, Tom?
The thing up there, that's a ballon.
What's the balance?
Ballon, yeah. That's a ballon, yeah. Yeah.
Alright.
That's it.
Well done, Tom.
Okay. Yeah.